Hello guys, this is Liddy once again, and I am here with you today to share a story time video. As promised in my last video, I said I would be telling you guys the story about two illnesses I got last year, which were the main cause for my fibro. So let's get right into it. Around a week before I was diagnosed with these two diseases, I was diagnosed with a very bad case of bronchitis that I treated with antibiotics for a week. So already my body was not in the best place in terms of my immune system and the overall stress in my body. I was feeling kind of tired and very just drained is the best word that I could state. And I started feeling kind of weird about 3 or 4 days after I stopped my antibiotics. My body felt heavy, and on one of those nights I went out for dinner with my boyfriend, and he told me that I looked very, very red and to go to the bathroom to check myself out. I can tell you that I felt like I was very, very hot, like you would feel when you're sunburned, and my skin was very, very red. I could tell though that it was not an allergic reaction because it didn't feel like an allergic reaction, and I know what an allergic reaction feels like, so I dismissed that immediately. But since there was no other explanation, I took my allergy medication before going to bed, and I went to bed thinking that everything was fine. I did not know how wrong I was. Next morning, I felt like a truck had hit me, that somebody had come in my room and hit me with a bat all over my body. I felt like I couldn't move. I felt like something in my body was broken. I went to the emergency room and they told me that I had a 40-degree fever and that they needed to put liquid into me and that something was very, very wrong. My eyes were really bloody red. My whole body was with a full-on rash, and I will insert pictures around here of how my body looked, and I had swollen joints all over my body. So I was then diagnosed with two diseases, both chikungunya and dengue, both viral infections given or transmitted by mosquitoes. And I was disheartened. I didn't know what to do. I was told by my doctors to stay at home, to drink a lot of liquid, and to take my medication for my fevers. In the process, I also had a hepatitis, which was caused by all the medication I was taking to put down my fever, which were very, very, very violent fevers. I would shiver. I thought that I was going to die in the midst of them. I would just feel like I had no control over my body. Like I would just tremble and feel like I couldn't control myself, like I didn't have control over my body. And the fevers lasted around 5 days, and then the rashes and all of that lasted for around a month. My joints being swollen lasted for around a month as well, and my back was so painful, it felt so bad that I was hunched over for that entire period of time. So they put a big amount of steroids into me to kind of get everything moving and for me to be able to go back to my normal life. And I did regain mobility from the steroids, but I still wasn't feeling good, and I didn't know how to verbalize what I was feeling. Around 2 weeks after the whole process was done and I was back to normal and into my regular schedule, I felt like the world was on my shoulders. I felt like it was so hard to move. I felt like my whole body ached, just as it did when I started with the dengue and the chikungunya. It was like I was reliving everything again, and I thought I was getting sick again, and I was very, very scared. I didn't know what to do or who to tell because I just had 2 months of illness, bronchitis, which was a week, and then in more than a month with this chikungunya and dengue process where I could do basically nothing. I just thought people were not going to believe me. I thought that I was going to be judged, and up to a certain point I also didn't want it to be true. I wanted it to be all in my head and for it to go away. But it didn't go away, and it kept getting worse. My hands were swelling up with the changes in temperature because of the Raynaud's disease, which I didn't know at the time, but later on they told me what it was, and I would get rashes every time I would shower, and I would just feel like every day it was just harder to get out of bed and harder to do regular things like take a shower or change my clothes or put on my shoes because I had to kneel down to do it. All of these simple things that we take for granted every day were hard to do for me. So I was then diagnosed with fibro, and that's another story which I have on my channel, and I'll link it down below. Directly links this story to my fibro story. But basically these two illnesses were the main cause of my fibro. Right after them both, I was never the same. And believe me, I've done so many things, and at the beginning we thought it was, toxins in my body still that hadn't gotten out in the correct way, and I detoxed my whole body, and I have done so many alternative treatments to get my body back to where it was, and it just hasn't happened for me. I still have a lot of pain, and I suffer every single day from the fibro, and a lot of the symptoms that I feel with fibro I felt with the dengue and the chikungunya. The sensitivity in my skin hasn't gone completely away, and just the joint pain is the one thing that has actually gotten better, but overall my whole body still aches from the time where I got sick with these two illnesses to right now. So that's the relevance that it has to my fibro journey and my fibro story, and I wanted to share it with you guys and let you know about these two illnesses that not a lot of people know about. I know that fibro has a lot of different causes. Some people don't even know where it came from. Some people it just happens out of the blue. So some people have really bad accidents, and fibro develops right after those, after some kind of really big trauma or after immense amount of stress put into our bodies, which is what I had because of the two diseases that I had. So I just wanted to let you know my story, and because I repeatedly got questions about when I was diagnosed with fibro and what I thought was the main cause, and this is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.